2001. Now I request Dr. Tyagaraja sir to hand over the session. Sir, please.
Thank you. First of all, I would like to say my sincere thanks to Dr. Kalpana Madam for giving me this opportunity to share my views on yoga and health and happiness in this Atal workshop. Thank you so much, ma'am, for this opportunity. And next, I welcome all the participants for this session. And let me present my screen. Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. And our topic for this session today is yoga for health and happiness. Yes, yoga for health and happiness. And we have a very good session. Please go on. And this like a formal definition kind of explanation for you what is health and what is happiness. And health is concern about complete state of physical, mental, and social well-being, not merely the absence of disease. And happiness is also like a mental or emotional state, including positive or pleasant emotions. So why we are mixing health and happiness? So if health is not there, definitely we won't be happy, and if we are not happy, definitely we won't be healthy. So yes, happiness and health is correlated each other in all our activity in the day-to-day life. And next, health and happiness, and it's like a general data. It's not the exclusive data from any of the research studies, but I have taken from Robert Holden. He's conducted a survey about happiness, and he found that 65 out of 100 people chose health, and he conducted some different kind of studies by happiness or over health and some other factors he conducted. In that, he found that whoever is happy and those people are health, and healthy people are happiness, like that. He has found a 65 out of 100. And as Holden told, there is no true health without happiness. I will explain in details in the next coming slides. Why he is telling that unhappiness, that is psychological, uh, like depressions like anxiety and stress linked to poor health. Because when we think of depression, when you think, when you are in anxiety, when you're in stress, we won't able to do any kind of work with a full free mind, and we cannot get a better result by doing this. And these negative states definitely will spoil our mood, and it will create some psychological which will lead to not attain our aimed goals. And is how to overcome these things, like positive psychology. Like if you think positively about the work, and if you keep our negativity outside, definitely we can overcome these issues. And this some important factor I would like to share to you. So how much physical activity I can do, and what are the factors it is there. Like if you walk 1 hour, it's like you can say brisk walk or ordinary walk, something like that. Like if you walk for 1 hour, you will burn 600 calories. And if you run, then 500. Cycling 600, swimming 600, and the gym workout 840, and skipping 900 plus calories we will be burning. And why it is linked with our happiness, in the sense when you feel healthy, and your activity and your mode of work also will be in the positive side. And main important fact is, like if you do 15 minutes of workout, the first 15 minutes, 0 to 15 minutes of workout, you will be burning that sugar and crops from your energy level. And after 30 minutes only, out we are going to the bed burning zone. So any activity, if you may say that I am walking daily 2 kilometers or 3 kilometers for 20 minutes, but I am not getting my weight reduced and my lifestyle disease like obesity and blood pressure and diabetes is not getting cured. No, we have to be systematically follow these procedures. So minimum we need to do more than 30 minutes of activity. And some World Health Organization also given the general guidelines that each one should follow 10,000 steps. If you walk or run 10,000 steps, you have to do it. And this is for the people who are suffering from hypertension and diabetes and some issues, health issues. So these are the factors regarding the calories burn. And some important data I want to share with you. So in our country, we are running sort of doctors. Our ratio, doctor and people ratio will be 1:1 doctor is to 854 people, and nurse ratio also 1:59. And in India's healthcare index ranking is 44th rank, and even most of our rival countries are before us in this healthcare index. And life expectancy also we can see we are in the very least years of age due to lot of lifestyle changes, lot of unhealthy food habits, and all those things are there. And recently we have come across the COVID outbreak and how much we suffered, and even the awareness among the people still it is not up to the mark. We have even vaccination details also we can see that first dose something we have done good, and second dose we are even government is taking a lot of the initiation, and we could not reach to the village side even now. So this is all some factors about our health and why we are not healthy, and what is the status of our happy living things. So now, since we have come across this COVID, we know better how to live happily. And this Corona, in somewhat, it taught us how our life will be peaceful. Yes, we are out of our regular routine, like very fast-pacing daily routine. Now we had a time little bit to spend with our family members, and even we were very close with our relatives also during this lockdown period of 1.5 years. And now we are little bit come out from this COVID scenario, and now we are able to do some kind of positive mode in the matter of health and fitness. And this is like a calorie burn, and this is will be linked. This is World Health Organization is given recommendation from the age wise, like how much we have to do workout from 5 to 17 years. It is 60 minutes per day. We have, because that's what we have the physical education classes and yoga classes in the schools. Like 60 minutes compulsory we have to do for maintaining the good physical fitness and health. And 18 to 60, most of us are there in this category. So we need to do 150 minutes per week. We can split into like 3 days into 50 minutes, or we can split it to 7. Look, this is a minimum I'm telling you. If you want to even more healthier, if you have some other problem, consult with your doctor, and we can do more minutes of work in our physics. And aged people off of our regular routine we can do it 75 minutes. What work we have to do means it's depending upon the individual, and depending upon the capacity of the individual, and we cannot compare one after another. Yes, somebody may be very healthy and healthy, and they may do a lot of the activity, walking, cycling, even jogging, trekking, and all they will do it. We should not compare ourselves with some extraordinary people and who is doing regular activity for more than years. So first we have to understand what level we are there, then we have to update our things to follow the criteria. And why we are linked with yoga and health and happiness. So it's like yoga poses combined with the regulated breathing and different meditation techniques have been made about their effects over here. It's yoga is not only doing physical, only body exercise, body postures. It will be giving the regulation of breath. So our vital energy for living, we need our vital energy as breathing. We are getting oxygenation from our breathing only. So regulation means like how we are going to make our breath very effectively, and with the mind controlling meditation techniques. So we will be pushing our happiness, and with ultimately will get a good health. And some research, I think a lot of research studies pointed out the positive effects of yoga and mental and physical health as well as the personal development. So in recent times, a lot of the researches are happening in and around our country, even in abroad also. It's like how yoga is positively affecting our mental and physical health. Is all the data are favor to the research, like it is giving positive effects, and it is giving ultimate effects, and the yoga is influencing the mental health and physical health. So many research proven theories are there. And yoga elevates chronic pains, like it there are a lot of the chronic pains are getting cured. And even if some aged people are going to doctor now, their doctors are advising for doing yoga for a couple of minutes, and surya namaskar and this meditation for things. Now they have started telling about doing some physical activities, and people can't do physical activity, maybe coming to yoga. Yoga helps individual suffering from mental health problems such as depression. As we have, these are all one of main our mindset: depression, anxiety, stress, and obese, compulsive disorders. These are all like stress only. It's a psychological feel only. Only if you think positive about this factor, then we may come out from this tough time. And regular yoga practices benefit healthy individuals. Like lot of the benefits are there. One by one, we will be seeing down. And studies have found that yoga reduces fatigue, negative thoughts, and only positive attitude. Like it's like every theory, every results will say that there is a positive results. There is a positive improvement of the practitioners, and comparatively, people are doing yoga. People are doing better than the people not doing yoga. Like that, so many results, so many studies are happening. And we will come to the main thought. What is yoga? Yes, now, yoga is nothing but it is a physical exercise, and with some regulated breathing and some kind of systematized meditation practices. For what is it is a union? It is a union of body, mind, and emotional state. So, like this union of Paramatma to Atma, it's like this is only yoga. It is connecting ourselves with the uh, spiritual values. It's like we are coming to know actually what I am, and actually what we are in which position we are, and how we are going to progress. Like that, it will be giving the connection. And there are 8 limbs of Asana yoga. So it's like there are steps. We used to call it as a steps. So one cannot attain directly to the 3rd step, or directly to the 4th step, directly to the 7th step. One by only we can go it. As that is yamas, niyamas, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, and samadhi. Samadhi means it's like union. As I said, union of body and mind. So that union of body and mind along with the spiritual values is going to be the last step. We cannot attain it immediately after practicing yamas. And we can say it yamas, what like external disciplines, what we are supposed to do with outside people, how we are going to behave with outside people. And niyamas is our internal thinking, how we are thinking about ourselves, like that. It's coming under niyamas. And we don't want to go in deep regarding this 8 limbs of asanas. And the third one is the important part, like asanas, physical poses. And the fourth one is the pranayama, breathing control. And fifth one is pratyahara, withdrawal of sense. When we are practicing meditation, when you are doing some kind of activity, so mindfulness will be there. Without mindfulness, we cannot attain the 100% result. Then the dharana, concentration, and dhyana, meditation. The last 2 steps is samadhi. So now we have a practical session. I will do all these asana. Before that, I am telling about the fact what we are going to do it. So like main classification of asanas is four types, like standing, sitting, prone position and supine position. These are the major four steps of asanas. Even some people may say that twisting asanas, forward bending asanas, backward bending asanas, like that. So many asanas they may say, but this is the basic classifications: standing, sitting, prone, and supine position asanas. And there are a lot of asanas and there are a lot of procedures to be followed. And this is the basics as per the Ministry of Ayush. There is a recommendation, the common yoga protocol asanas we have given. Every year we are celebrating International Day of Yoga on June 25th. So it was the great opportunity for us, can say that yes, since yoga is our own tradition, now internationally it is grown up, and everywhere it is celebrating as the International Day of Yoga. And yet the initiation of International Yoga Day was taken by our Prime Minister, Sri Narendra Modi ji, and he has kept in UN General Assembly, and it was got passed. And from 2015, we are doing International Day of Yoga every year, and there are a lot of benefits, and there are a lot of the activities are happening in and around. And in the COVID time, we have so many online classes, so many free seminars, webinars, and everything has happened because due to this free time, some classes and so many very effective classes have happened. And now we come to know that what are the real effects are there by yoga. And we will go one by one. I will do practically, and you can, if you want to do it, you can do along with me. If you can, otherwise you can watch and you can practice in the free time. So all these asanas are standing position asanas, starting from Tadasana, Vrikshasana, Artha Chakrasana, Bhadagastasana, Trikonasana, and Virabhadrasana. All these six asanas from standing position asanas. And this is a sitting position asanas: Dandasana, Vakrasana, Uddana Manduhasana, Ustrasana, Vajrasana, Bhadrasana. This is all sitting position asanas. And prone position asanas, we can say Sedu Bandhasana, Chakrasana, Halasana, Pakshimatasana, Sarvangasana, Bhavan Muktasana. And fourth position classification will be supine position asanas: Adho Mukha Savasana, Bhujangasana, Salabhasana, Dhanurasana, Makrasana, Palakasana. So all these four variety of asanas we will see one by one. And then next thing will be very important, three pranayamas we are going to see: Kapalabhati pranayama, Nadi Sodhana pranayama, and Brahmari pranayama. Then finally we will go for the benefits of asana. Before going to start the practical session, and I can tell you the benefits of asana. Yoga will improve your sleep. Yes, when you are doing any physical activities, you are doing, yes, each and every yoga position, we are going to maintain the final position, and we are going to elevate our body in our regular opposite to the regular side. So definitely our muscle tiredness will be there. When your muscle is tired, when your mind is tired, definitely you will get good sleep. And sure weight reduction will be there. Yes, all the fats will be accumulated over our muscle fibers, and it won't make you to move freely. So when you start moving frequent full range of flexibility, then you will get definitely weight reduction. And next, already I told you, increase the flexibility. The flexibility is the main effect for our good health, because most of us can't, because belly is the biggest threat for our recent generation. Yes, so most of us are having very big belly, and we cannot bend down as much as we can. Even somebody, even in some memes and all, we can see that people can't look at their toe, and they cannot tie their shoelace like that. They may say that much big belly we have. Whereas when you start doing yogasana, whereas yogasana will be having a lot of the forward bend, backward bend, left and right side, and bending asanas. When we do continuous practices of these asanas, definitely our flexibility will be improving and increase the muscle strength. As I told you in the first step, when you do any regular physical activities, due to muscle started and the lengthen, that length of the muscle changes will be there. So your muscle strength also will be increased. Strengthen the bones. Obviously, if the muscles are getting strengthened, then the bones also will be getting strengthened. And bones and muscles are joined each other. So without bone, muscle can't move. Without muscles, bone can't move. So ultimately, when muscle is getting strengthened, bones also getting strengthened. And the protection from injury, like when you do asanas, you will be getting strengthened, and as well as you will get some certain uh, turn kind of things, agility. We used to say that you will get, if you see any kind of object is coming close to you, immediately you will be moving from that object and save yourself. And when you do some kind of practices, you will be away from the easy injuries happened. And the protection, perfect the poses, and as I tell you, all these strengthening muscles, flexibility, weight reduction, sleep, everything. If you get now, automatically your structure of the body also will be perfect, and protect spine. And our spine is the backbone. We used to call it as. When you do all kind of this strengthening and flexibility thing, our spine also will be good, and we can protect our spine by doing activities. Without doing this, most of us are having, we are sitting in our chair, it's a cabin itself for more time, and due to this corona we have taken so many online classes daily. We may take 6 to 7 classes by sitting in the chair. Definitely our spine will also having some pain. So for relieving that, we need to do some kind of stretchings, and a better thing will be we can do asanas, forward and backward bending asanas. And this is a psychological feel increase the confidence. Yes, when you do meditation, you will get, your mind will be getting focused, and you will be your thoughts will not be vibrant. Like there is a saying is that our mind is thinking more than 1,000 moments in a second. It will be like a monkey jumping one to another very quickly, and our mind will not be stand in one position constantly. So by practicing meditation, by practicing yoga, and by regulating our breath, and you will get confident, and it will be help you to focus on the particular thing. When you are focus, when you are doing a work with a full focus, definitely we will be finishing the work with very good manner. Otherwise, without focus, without mindfulness, if you do that activity, that result also will be very poor. And improve digestion, since if you are doing some activity, and when you do starting activity, automatically your all metabolisms will be fast, and all your body will be moving towards to the good working conditions. So it helps to live drug free. So this will be the main factor. And we are taking some medicines for curing our immediate pain or immediate illness, but which will definitely lead for some side effects. It may give timely relief, but continuously, if you take some particular medicines, now you will be addicted for that medicine, and without that medicine you cannot live. That kind of that extent we may go. And most of the drugs will have some other side effects, and increase the blood flow, and blood, through the blood only we are getting all our energies, nutrients to working muscles. Due to blood cholesterol, due to blood sugar, and our blood may not be moved to all the parts of the body, and maybe the speed also it will be very poor. So when you do asanas, when you do proper stretching and other thing, definitely blood flow also will be increased, and balanced metabolism. We have lot of the systems in our body: circulatory system, respiratory system, endocrine system, digest. Like every system is working like working automatically by God's grace. It is working in a proper way. If any secretion is less, that also any secretion is more, that is also hyper also the problem. So the balance of the secretions of the particular glands will be maintained, and it will be the basement of our health and well-being. So by practicing yoga, and by practicing in a systematic way, definitely we can maintain our metabolism and increase inner strength. So the confident, we used to call it as confident. We will build our confidence by practicing more meditations and yogasanas. and regulates energy. And as I told you, so like we are getting energy from the blood flow, and mostly we are getting our vital energy from breathing, and both things will be controlled when we are doing our yogasana practices. So like yoga is like a unique benefit we have from the starting to finishing. And even yoga, I will tell you, you don't compare yourself with experts. Beginners, you can start little bit, step by step only we can start. Suddenly we cannot uh, bend our 100% of our ability. So slowly only we can do it. And any physical exercise or any asanas will be uh, give you good benefit after the certain time of regular practices. We cannot get immediate results. Definitely your health will be improved, but not no sure in the after regular practices. And timing is so, most of the asanas will be having breathing difficulties. Like some asanas will be when you bend you can breathe in, when you come up you can do breathe out. So like that, varieties of instructions will be there. So while doing this yoga practices practically, I will tell you what to do it. And the next thing will be like prana. When you do asanas, you can do on your own by seeing any of the videos, and there are a lot of the YouTube videos are available, and relevant yoga instructors are also there with proper instruction, proper guidelines also. You can do it. But if we have any health problem, hypertension, diabetes, or any of our heart related diseases, don't try on your own. Consult your doctor and go and meet some good yoga instructors, and you can start doing. So we are doing this activity for improving our health. Without doctor consultation, without the proper guidance from the yoga instructor, if you do know, it will be go even worse, because and it is a matter of internal uh, system functioning. So when you do without guidelines, you may get some pain or something. Sometimes our system will be collapsed. Our internal systems, secretion systems will be getting activated. When it is getting ultimately activated, it will be given with some kind of relaxation techniques in later stage. So better after this, if you want to do yoga, if you want to do any physical exercise, before that you consult a doctor, then you can do it. Because every level, every disease or every illness will have some percentage of that consultation by the doctors. Without them, we cannot even do it. And even medicines also don't directly. We know that we'll go. We know the name of the medicine. We'll go buy and come, and you will recover from that. So better you can consult once, and you can have that medicine. And like that only we are going to do for yoga also. But lightly you can do it. It's not like very severely, very vigorously we are going to do. Now we have to consult them. Otherwise, for the normal people without having any health issues, definitely we can do this asanas, basic asanas. All these asanas are basic asanas, and we have very advanced asanas. And that asanas will be done after some kind of 3 to 6 months of practices. So that only 1 week if you do, and after that you will go for some advanced asana. It may not be possible. So you have to go step by step. And these are the main functions of the benefits of yoga. And then we'll go for a practical session. We'll start with standing asanas. So let me start sharing the slides. And am I visible, ma'am, in the screen?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please proceed.
Okay, now I'm going to demonstrate the yogasana. Please, you can have a look. And if anybody want to practice, please follow me instruction and do slowly. And don't injure yourself. Slowly you can do it. And if you cannot do the complete bend, no problem. You can do as much as possible. So beginning you can do with your level. And later on you can compete with your own range. So I think I am audible. So
Yes,
before
sir.
doing any yogasana, we have to do warming up. So very simple warming up we will do it. First we will start from top to bottom. First thing will be our neck. We can rotate your neck slowly in both direction. We can do 4 times of rotation in each side. Slowly. Slowly it will come. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Ma'am, sound is okay, ma'am?
Yes, sir. It is clear, sir.
Okay, ma'am.
You can go ahead.
So after the opposite side, we can rotate. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Next, we can do our shoulder rotation. 1, 2, 3, 4. Opposite side. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then we can do wrist rotation. 1, 2, 3, 4. Reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4. Next we can do hip rotation. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then change the side. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then last exercise will be foot angle rotation. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now reverse, opposite side. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now change your leg. 1, 2, 3, 4. Reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now all these exercises are called rotation exercise. We can do stretching exercise also, which will be good for our starting of exercise. So first thing will be neck rotation. Neck you can rotate and let the face will be straight and bend on your right side first. 1, 2. Left side turn. One more time. Right side straight and bend on your left side. Now the same neck rotation, neck stretching forward and backward. Bend forward, backward. One more time. Forward, backward. When we do this stretching, we can maintain the final position into 2 to 3 seconds. Then only we can change the exercise. Next thing will be now changing the direction of the face. Turn, hold for 2 seconds, then come straight, then opposite side. Straight, one more time, right side. Center, and left side. Okay. Now shoulder stretching, hands straight and cross over. So your right hand should cross your neck and left hand should push the elbow and make it straight like this. And hold for 2 seconds. Then change the hand the same way. Left should cross the neck and right should push and make it straight. One more time. And change into left hand. Now the same thing, right hand up, bend your elbow and pull your right elbow with the left hand. Change. One more time on right side. Left. Okay. Now interlock your fingers and turn it outward and lift it up and slowly bend on your left side. Hold and come straight. Then go right side. Come straight. One more time left. right, same hand position, bend down, come up and bend back, bend down and bend back. Next, we'll move on to our lower body, leg split. Now we can bend our right leg to right side and bend your right knee. Keep your left knee straight and lower your body by bending your right leg as much as possible. And turn the side. And one more. And one more on the opposite side. So next will be you can hold your angle and you touch the knee with your forehead. Like this. You can hold. Don't bend your knees. So you can hold first, then go down. Come. One more time. The last exercise. The last exercise will be angle stretch. So lift your right side foot and bend your toes up and down. Up, down, up, down. Now same thing, inward and outward. Outward, inward. Outward, inward. Outward, inward. Now change into left leg lift. Now up and down. Up, down. Up, down. Up, down. Inward and outward. Inward, outward. Inward, outward. Inward, outward. Okay, all these exercises are normal warming up exercise. Yes, we are going to do some yogasanas which will be having our muscle tightness and muscle stretch. More muscle stretch will be there. Suddenly we cannot do any muscle stretch, any hard movement. If you do the hard movement, definitely you will be getting some injury. For avoiding that, first we have to do this warming up exercise. When we do warming up, our body will get heat and all your muscles will be ready for the vigorous activity. So that only we are doing exercise, warming up exercise. We will do rotations, then we will do stretchings. Now all our muscles are ready for doing some strenuous activities. We will go to the Surya Namaskar. So Surya Namaskar will be the first activity before you are going to do any of the yogas. So you can stand straight. So for better visibility, I am turning the right side right. Stand straight and come to Namaskara position. Namaskara Mudra. This is stand straight, look straight, both the feet together, and do breathe in, then lift your hand up, bend back, then breathe out, come down, touch the toe or touch the floor. You can keep any one of the leg backward, right or left, and knee can be bent down, and you can look at the screen like this. Then both legs backward, then bring whole body down, then lift only your upper body, then lift your body, both leg back position. Now opposite leg we have to bring it in. Same position, then bend down position, then back lift position, then this position. This is a Surya Namaskar having 12 stages. Each stage, when you bend down, first stage you have to breathe in, second stage you have to breathe out. Like that, alternatively we can do it. So Surya Namaskar can be start with 5 repetitions daily. in later stage, after you get good practices, you can do even 10 times, 14 times, and 15 times you can do it. And recently, there is a world record was created. Continuously, 12 hours Surya Namaskar was done. So like that, we can do continuous Surya Namaskar. It will be good since all the body parts are involving in the Surya Namaskar. We will get good flexibility, we will get good strength, and most of the asanas are having very good back pain. So we will be relieving from any back pain activity. And the Surya Namaskar will be good for the people who are sitting in the chair for more time. Especially the IT people, whoever is having the more chair-based activity, they can try the Surya Namaskar. And best time for doing Surya Namaskar will be in the morning season. Before the sun rises, it can be done. And elevations, you don't worry about the elevations in the beginning stage. Elevation will come later. So first do the procedure. Stage 1, you have to stand in the Namaskara. Stage 2, you have to bend back. Like that, you just follow the stages. Then later on, you will get a good alignment, body alignment. It will be giving a very good result for you. So with that Surya Namaskar, we will move into standing asana. First asana should be Tadasana. So Tadasana position will be stand straight. Don't keep your leg far away and don't keep your leg very close. So little bit. So 2-3 inches in between your leg. So stand straight, keep your body straight, and first you lift your hands front. This is the stage 1. Now lock your fingers and turn it outward. Keep your elbows straight and bring your hands up. Keep straight, elbow also straight. Total body should be straight. Now try to lift your heel slowly. Just raise your height as much as possible and maintain this position for 5 count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now slowly bring your heels down to the ground and bring the hands down in the same position, turning inward and release the interlocking and come to starting position. This is Tadasana. But again, I will do from the sideways. Stand straight, hand sideways, interlock, turn it outward, lift up, keep your elbows straight, raise your heels as much as possible, and maintain it for 5 count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. First, bring the heels down. Then bring your hands down in the same position. Now turn inward, release interlocking, and slowly bring your hands down. This is Tadasana. Next will be Vrikshasana. The same Tadasana position, we are going to stand with one leg. So from the same standing position, feet 2 inches apart, and you can start with your right leg. So bend your right leg and place it in the middle segment of the legs, center of the legs, middle segment. So legs should be sideways. So this is bending position. After bending position, check your balance. Then slowly bring your hands sideways and upward and do Namaskara above your head and focus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. After this, slowly bring your hands down. Slowly, you can do very slowly. After your hands reaches sideways, then slowly release your leg and come to starting position. Since we have done with only one leg, we need to do with the another leg also. So first we did with the right leg, now we do with left leg. So slowly place in the middle segment of your thighs, then hand sideways, and slowly bring it up. Keep your hands close to your ass. Extend your elbow. Stand for 5 count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And slowly bring it down. And release your legs. And come to normal standing position. Next will be Ardha Chakrasana, half Chakrasana pose, half bend, backward bend asana. For better understanding, I will do from the side bends. The same standing position, normal standing position, you can place your hip, hands on the back of the hip, and from this position, try to bend your hip backward. So weight reason backward. So by pushing your hand front, you can bend back and you can go to the maximum. You can see exactly on your opposite side by bending backward. So you can try your maximum and maintain it for 5 counts. So this is the second position. Then you can bend. One, two, three, 4, 5. And slowly down. Stand straight and release the hand. One more time I will do from the backward. So stand straight, hands backward, and bend as much as possible. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then slowly come up. Put your hands out and stand to normal position. This is Ardha Chakrasana. Next asana will be Pada Asana, forward. Since we have bent backward in the previous asana, we are going to bend forward. This is Pada Asana. So touching the feet with the hand. So raise a normal starting position, hand sideways, and lift above the head. Don't touch the hand each other. Let it be open and slowly bend forward. Slowly bend forward. Don't bend your knees. Knees should be straight. Touch the ground and bend your head as much as possible. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. After that, slowly come up. Then from sideways and come to normal position. From the side view, stand straight, hand sideways, then upward. So bend slowly down and touch the ground. Slowly, slowly, slowly down. Touch the ground and bend your head inward. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then slowly come up. Then hands to the normal position. The next will be Trikonasana. We are going to make triangle in our body position. It will be very easy, but our stretching should be concentrated. So we have to stretch to a maximum. And if it even Padagastha, if somebody can bend only this much, no problem, maintain it day by day, or once in 2 days, or once in 3 days. Try to lower your level, like touching the level, increase your level of touching. So then it will be step by step. From this position onwards, you can go down, down, down. At last, you can touch the ground. Then you can bend your hand and touch. So it will be come after a couple of practices. Now we will go for Trikonasana. So open up your legs. So I'm going to do with my right side. So right toe should be pointed on right side. The rest of the body will be on straight. Now hands should be lifted sideways, and without bending the right knee, I'm going to bend down. See? And the head should be looking at the sky. Extended up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then slowly up. So, okay. Now, since we did it in the right side, and we are going to do on the left side. Left toe turn and bend slowly and touch and look up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then slowly up. Then legs together and hands together. This is Trikonasana. See, any asana, if you do right side, we have to do counter pose. Opposite side also we have to do it. So Trikonasana we did right side and left side. The last asana will be Virabhadrasana. This also leg split only, the same. We can do leg split. And now we are going to turn your upper body alone. So like this we can turn, and this left knee also turn. Left foot also turn in the same direction, and both knee, beginning stage both knees should not be bent. Now after you go stand like this, only your right knee should be bent. You can lower your body and back leg should be stretched as much as possible, and you can bring your hands like this and bend as much as possible backward. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And slowly come. Take the hands out and come to normal position. Since we did it right side, see left side. So turn to your left and sideways and come to Namaskar Mudra and bend, go down as much as possible, then bend. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then slowly come up, hands out, then come to. So all these 6 asanas are standing position asana. First will be Tadasana, then second will be leg up, and this one Vrikshasana. Third one will be Atta Chakrasana, bending backward. The fourth will be Padahastasana, bending forward, and fifth asana Trikonasana, we are making like this, and sixth asana will be Virabhadrasana, like this. So all these asanas are standing position asanas. Now we will be moving to the sitting position asanas. There are a lot of basic asanas. The first asana will be like Padmasana. So we can sit straight. So you can keep our back straight. And now you can bring your right foot to over the left foot. And left to over the right thighs. So like this you can sit. You can keep your back straight. And you can close your eyes, and you can keep any mudra. This is chin mudra. You can keep it, and you can keep your back straight and close your eyes and stand. This is like Padmasana. So after this, we can come to straight position. This is the basic meditative asana. And the next asana, somebody may not do this both leg bend. So those can do only one leg up. So right to left or left to right. You can bend. Then next leg will be bent in the normal leg folding. This is Sukhasana. It is called as Ardha Padmasana, we can say. And even this also, if you feel difficulty, and you can do normal leg folding Sukhasana. So both leg bending over one another is called Padmasana. Only one leg placed over the next leg will be Ardha Padmasana, and normal sitting position will be Sukhasana. These are the basic 3 sitting position asanas. In this asana will be observed during all meditation and pranayama exercise. Based on your capacity, we can do any kind of these 3 basic sitting position asanas. And one more sitting position asana is that it is called Vajrasana. In Vajrasana means from the kneeling position, toe can't be kept like this. Toe should be flat. You have to place your front foot like this. So fingers will be backward, not pointed on the ground. It should be backward, and body position will be straight. And we can sit over the lap like this completely. We can place your foot over your heels, and hands should be straight, and head should be elevated little bit up, tilt upward. And you can, after this position, you can concentrate on your breath. And when we do this asana, your ankle joints will be stretched completely, and any foot injuries, any foot stiffness, they will be removed. And you can, after this position, you can concentrate on your breath. And when we do this asana, your ankle joints will be stretched completely, and any foot injuries, any foot stiffness, they will be removed. And
will be relieved, and since you are keeping your back straight and you are putting all your body over your thighs and half muscles, so your leg will be getting strengthened and you will get good flexibility, and any knee injury, any knee pain, any knee stiffness also will be relieved when you have been practicing this Vajrasana. So this is the Vajrasana position. And next asana will be Dandasana, basic long sitting position. So we used to call it as Dandasana. So this is the normal sitting position. From this, you have to place your hand close to your body, and you can place your elbow stretched. Elbow stretched, toe pointing to the direction of the sitting, and you can keep your back straight by pushing the ground out, and your head should be tilted a little bit upward. So this is the Dandasana position. For all the sitting position asanas, this is the first position. This is the first stage. This is called Dandasana. In this asana, you can even relax. So you can place and you can relax like this also. This is Dandasana. Next asana will be Vakrasana. Vakra means you can turn, twist your backbone. As I told you, our backbone is very, very important. So when you do this, the back pain will be getting relieved. So now place your right leg on the knee side of the left leg, and with your left hand, you can catch the ankle of the right leg and turn opposite side and keep your back straight and turn to the back side as much as possible, and hold this position for 5 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then slowly take your head to the normal position. Then release your left hand. Then place it on back side and extend your right leg. Since we did in the right leg, we are going to do in the left leg. So place it, left bend, and right now left leg with right hand turn and head like this. Turn backward and look at your opposite side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. First turn your head, then release your right hand, place it backward and release your legs. This is Vakrasana. This will be good for back, especially when we are turning our backbone. So we will get good relief in the back stiffness. The next asana is Uddana Mandukasana. The easy asana from the Vajrasana. So this is a kneeling position, and from that I told you how to do your Vajrasana. So sit on your lap, and so this is Vajrasana. Now we have to open your knees outward. Both knees down, and you can sit down to the ground and keep your back straight, and right hand bent and place it over the left side of the back shoulder, and right hand up and right shoulder of the back shoulder, and keep your back straight like this. This is Uddana Mandukasana. So now in this asana you have to stitch your back, and you can little bit look elegant. So you will get pressure over the top side of the vertebral column. It will be good for the bending the scapula problem. So after this, take out your left hand first, then right hand first, then bring it down to normal position, then come to Vajrasana and relax for 10 to 15 seconds. Then you can proceed to next asana, Ustanasana. So same position, Vajrasana. Start from the Vajrasana position. So now come to kneeling down position. Now lift your right hand and touch the foot, and lift the left hand and touch the foot, and after touching the foot and bend. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is Ustasana. Release your left hand, release the right hand, and slowly bring your hands down and body down to the Vajrasana position. Uttanasana, and somebody if cannot touch your foot, that also we have Atta Uttanasana. So sit straight, kneeling position, and place your hand back of your butt, and now pushing the butt front, you can bend back and do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then slowly come, raise the hand and come to Vajrasana. This is Uttanasana, and with back support, this is Ardha Uttanasana. The last asana in sitting position will be Vakrasana. The small children used to call this butterfly exercise. So we can bend both legs. And keep it as closest to the middle, and keep your back straight and interlock your fingers and cover your toes and catch firmly and sit like this. And lower your leg as much. Don't keep it like this. No effect will be there. So after you catch your foot, then you can lower your leg as much as possible, and you can keep your back straight. And even if you want to get good result, you can beat the ground like this. If you do continuously 10 to 15 times, you will get good flexibility over your leg. So all these asanas are sitting position asanas. We have seen 6 asanas: Dandasana, normal long sitting position; Vakrasana, turning one side and placing the hand; and Uddana Mandalasana, sitting like this; and Uttanasana, kneeling a person and bending backward. In that 2 variations we have seen. One will be complete Uttanasana, next will be half position with supporting the hand in the back. Then Vajrasana, normal kneeling down and sitting on the lap position. Last asana will be Vakrasana. Then we will move into prone position asana. Prone position means, so we are going to lie down by facing the sky. So that is prone position asana. First asana we are going to do Sedu Bandhasana. So this lying down position is called prone position. We are facing the sky. So this is a prone position asana. So Sedu Bandhasana, this is a normal lying down position. So now you can please split your leg and sleep however you feel. Don't fold your hands like this. So you can keep your hands down. This is a relaxation asana, Savasana, a universal asana. And from this asana, when you are proceeding to the asana, Sedu Bandhasana, first you have to close your leg, feet together, both close should be touch each other. Then you can bend your legs down, and both feet should be kept down to the ground. Full feet should be touch the ground. And from this position, you can catch your ankle. And now, by elevating, you have to lift your hip up. From this position, you can lift your hip as much as possible. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then slowly bring it down. Place your hands. Place your right leg. Place your left leg. Open your legs. Toe pointing outward and hand palm facing upward and relax. So bending asana, 1, Sedu Bandhasana. So this will be good for your, when you are lifting your stomach region upward by pushing the hip. It will be good for your back pain, and all major organs are close to your stomach. So everything will be getting activated and it will be functioning in a proper way. Next will be Chakrasana. So we are going to make the wheel position. The same starting Savasana position. We are going to stand with 4 support. 2 hands and 2 legs we are going to stand. See how I am doing. So normal Savasana position. First you can place your both leg down. After that you can place your hand palms opposite side you have to place it. And after this you have to slowly lift your hip first, followed by upper body. Slowly you can lift up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. After that, slowly go down. Place your hip, raise your hand, and let's also raise. Come to Savasana. This is Chakrasana. We are making a wheel, half wheel position by doing this. This is called Chakrasana. Next asana will be Halasana. We are going to place our toe, left toe to the next to our head. So same Savasana position. Hands should be kept side. Then slowly you can lift your leg upward to 90 degree. Then you have to place on the back side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then slowly bring down. Down. Yes. Then you can relax. When you do Halasana, if you cannot do it full stage, you can do only like if you do only this much 45, you can hold for sometimes. Then you can make it to 90. Then you can make it like this. Then finally you can touch the ground. This is only Halasana. So as per your capacity, we can bend. We can do full version of Halasana. As Ardha Halasana, you can do it. Next asana will be Pakshimuttasana. Already I taught you other asana from the standing position. The same thing, you are going to bend forward. So in this, you cannot lift your knee up and you cannot make your backbone also bend. You have to keep straight. Come to this position and slowly come down. First catch the toe. Then after catching the toe, after catching the angle of the board, then you can bend up. And if you can try to place the head over your knees like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then slowly come up and take out the hands and back also straight and come to normal sitting relaxation asana, Dandasana. The next asana will be Sarva Angasana. So I am going to stand on my shoulders. Normal lying down position. With the support of the hands, I am going to lift my as much as possible. I am going to make it. So leg can be straight and toe pointing upward and maintain this position and even more straight way to do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. First you can bend your legs. Then slowly you can bring your body down. Legs straight. Open your legs and hands up. This is Sarvangasana. So when we are standing upside down, the total blood flow will be coming to the upward position. Normally, when you are most of the time when you are sitting or standing, all of blood flow will be from top to bottom. But when you are doing Sasasana and Sarvangasana, all our blood flow will be coming back to the forward direction. So it will be good for the backbone and shoulder, and even for the neck, it will be very good. The next asana, Pavana Muktasana. So Pavana Muktasana is the same position, lie down. In this asana, we have a variation. Ardha Pavana Muktasana there, we can lift only one leg and hold with the hands, and we can bring our body, our upper body upward as much as possible. This is Ardha Pavana Muktasana with the right leg. After that, you can release it and you can relax. Now with the left, bend your left leg, hold with your hands, then come out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then relax. This is Ardha Pavana Muktasana with the left leg. Then full version of Pavana Muktasana. Both legs should bend, hold with the hands. Then you can bring your head as much as possible. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you can slowly go down. Slowly go down. And release your hands. Extend your legs and relax. So this is the Pavana Muktasana. We can do alternate legs one by one. Otherwise, you can do with together. And after all these asanas, we can lie down like this and relax. This is Savasana, universal relaxation asana. So in prone position, we have seen 6 asanas. Sedu Bandhasana, first asana with the sole, with the leg support and shoulder up. Next will be Chakrasana. We made a wheel kind of thing. After that, only leg touches back side. This is Malasana. Then Pakshimottasana, total body down, forward body direction. Then Sarvangasana, lower body up. And the last asana, Bhavana Muktasana, that is making our both upper and lower body upward. The last classification of asana will be supine position asana. Like we are going to face the earth. Prone position asana, we are going to face the sky. Now we are going to face the earth. So we are going to lie down front side. The first asana will be Bhujangasana. So lying down position, this is the lying down position. In this also there is a relaxation asana, Makrasana, that you can open your legs as much as possible and you can fold your hands and keep touch the elbow each other and you can place your head like this. This is Makrasana. Crocodile position. This is a relaxation asana. When you sit, when you lie down like this, you will feel very comfortable and you will be relaxed. So this is Makrasana. There is one more variation of Makrasana. You can keep the hand like this. This is also one of the variation of Makrasana. So this is relaxation asana for supine position of asanas. Then first Bhujangasana. After from this Makrasana position, leg close, toe pointing opposite direction, and keep your hands close to the chest. And there is the first variation of Bhujangasana, Ardha Bhujangasana. Now from this position, you can elevate your head only to the maximum level of your vertebral column, backbone. Only this much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then slowly come down. Slowly come down. Then come to relaxation position of Makrasana. This is Ardha Bhujangasana. Then we go for the full version of Bhujangasana. So legs right, touching the toe each other. Place the hands close to the chest. Now you can lift the body as much as possible. Slowly you can lift. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Then bend back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then slowly come down. Open the legs, hands to forward position, head relax. This is full version of Bhujangasana. Then Counterasana for this, because now we lifted our upper body. Now we are going to lift our lower body. That is called Salabhasana. So Salabhasana is same, leg close. We can place the hand sideways. In this Salabhasana, there is two variety. One will be single leg Salabhasana, one leg Salabhasana. So in this asana, you can place your cheek down and with the support, you can give support hand to the thighs, inner thighs, then lift your right leg as much as possible, only right leg. Keep your right leg straight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bring the right leg down. Now, left leg also you can lift. Slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is Salabhasana on left side, left leg. Now with both legs we are going to lift. Slowly you can lift. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Slowly down. Then release your hands. Release your legs. And come to Makrasana position. The next asana will be Dhanurasana. So Dhanurasana means we are going to do opposite to the Chakrasana. This also be, that is normally this is inverted view. So now in the same position, bend your legs and hold with your angle by the hands. And slowly lift your upper body and lower body up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And slowly down. Place your hands, open your legs, and come to Makrasana position. In this last easy asana will be Blangasana. So blank position we can do it. So like push-ups position, we can keep your legs together, toes touching each other, and come to the push-ups taking position. Lift your body. You can stand like this as much as possible, and your body should be straight. Don't do like this. It should be straight. You can stand on your toes, and you can maintain this position as much as possible. After that, you can relax. Slowly put your knees down, toe down, then come to relaxation asana with the proper leg split. So these are the asanas we are doing by supine position. So by facing the earth. So first asana will be board position asana. Second position Bhujangasana we have seen. Then Salabhasana, right leg and left leg. Then Dhanurasana, inverted wheel position. Makrasana, relaxation asana, crocodile position. Then Lankasana, push-ups position. So all these 4 classification asanas are very easy, and you can practice the elevations, the better elevations, and better posture and better range of motion. Flexibility will come after the couple of months practice. So you can practice these easy asanas, and if you have any asanas corrections, if you want to do any kind of asanas, very well you can approach me. I have given my mail ID and mobile number also. You can contact me for the help. Now we will go to the important point, that is pranayama. Now we will go moving to pranayama thing. Pranayama means, like as I told you in the introduction class, it's like exchange of gases. Like we are breathing inside and we are taking the oxygen, then we are leaving the carbon dioxide. So this is happening in our lungs, and that air, the oxygen is the vital energy for our living process. So that air containing oxygen and carbon dioxide is the main sources of our living energy. So we are regulating the breath. How to regulate the breath? Most of us, just imagine any stress will be happening by the variation of the breathing. And if you get shivering, that also we will be getting more number of times you will breathe. That means, see, why you are getting lot fast breathe? That means you are not breathing throughout the lungs. We have 2 lungs, and which is having the 6-liter capacity. But whereas what you will do, only what top of the lungs we will breathe in. We will do fast breathing. We won't let our breath to go down and do the lot of processing. Then it will be come out. We won't do it. It will be doing fast. Beat will be there. So like when you do regulation with the single breathe in, we will do more time of more amount of air should be go inside, and more amount of oxygenation also will be happen, and it will be passed to the blood, and through the blood it will be reached to all the parts of the body. So oxygen and breathing is very important for living beings. So how to regulate? There are a lot of procedures. We will do it. Normally what we will do when we are breathing, when we are taking the air inside, we used to call as inspiration. We used to call as like breathing in. When it is coming out, we will say respiration or breathe out. That is only the procedural name. But what is happening inside? So it is converting. Our air is divided into energy, and it is oxygen is separated, carbon dioxide is sent out. So it is all happening through the lungs. So we are going to do that regulation of breath for the betterment of our living scenario. So first, what is pranayama? So regulating the breathing is pranayama. Okay, how to regulate? So we are going to breathe through nose, and we are going to breathe out through the nose as well as through the mouth. In pranayama, there are some asanas exclusively we will breathe through nose and breathe out through mouth, and we will breathe in through the mouth and we will breathe out through nose. So why you are making that any obstruction, any distraction is coming from any part, it will be cleared by doing proper breathing exercise. There are basic three, which is called Kapalbhati pranayama, primary pranayama, and Nadi Shodhana, Nadi Shodhi pranayama. So all these three are the major and very basic pranayama. It will be given very good result. It will be given very good benefit for your health and well-being. And properly, I will tell you. So breathing. So beginning stage of breathing, I will tell you. Breathing. How you have to do full lungs breathing. You have to do it. How to do it now? So just sit erect and keep any mudra, chin mudra, folding the hands. You can keep anything, any comfortable position. And the sitting position also, you can sit like this. You can keep one leg up or both leg up. In this position also, you can sit. So comfortable position, you can sit normally. Keep your back straight, and any mudra you can keep it. Just breathe in, just to fill your stomach. The proper scientific method of breathing will be when you breathe in, your stomach will be bulged out. So due to our lung is increasing in size, and ultimately it is pushing down. There will be one little layer called diaphragm in between our lungs and the stomach. So it will be pushing down, so that our stomach also will be bulged. So we used to call it as stomach breathing. So when you breathe out, our stomach should be go inward. So that means the air should be come out like a balloon. It should be go inward. So when you breathe in, balloon is enlarging. When you breathe out, balloon is reducing in size. So enlarging, reducing size, increasing the size, reducing the size. This is the mechanism was happening in our lungs. So first, before going to Kapalbhati or Nadi Shodhana or primary pranayama, we will do the normal breathing and normal breath out. So first thing will be like you can stand, sit erect, keep the hand on your stomach, just to feel the whether we are doing the proper mechanism. Most of us will do opposite only. When you breathe in, our stomach will go in. When you breathe out, our stomach will be out. So like that only we used to breathe. Just to change the scenario, just keep the hand on your stomach. Hand should be in a comfortable position. Now breathe in, try to enlarge your stomach outside. Now breathe out and take your stomach inward. Now you concentrate only on your stomach. So 4 times. So sit erect, breathe in and increase the stomach. Breathe out. So like that. So only we have seen the stomach region area. Stomach only we have seen. Now we will come to chest breathe. That means lungs breathe. Now imagine. So you can sit erect. You can place your hand on your chest, and now you breathe and just enlarge your lungs by filling the air over full of your lungs. Then you can breathe out. So keep your hand here. Breathe in through your lungs. So stomach breathing and lung breathing we have seen. So this is the mechanism we have to practice. When you regulate your breathing, when you concentrate over your breathing, when you regulate your ratio, so breathing in, breathing out, and there is in between one phases that is called holding the breath in your lungs. So far we are giving time to air to be oxygenated in the lungs. We are that time we are that is called holding the breath. We have Purana, Kumbha, etc. Like that. Those are there. So we used to call air is going inside, it is coming outside, but some duration it is staying inside the lungs. That position is called residual volume of our lungs. So these mechanisms should be properly followed for the better result of our lung functioning. So what now we used to call now normal breathe, like properly breathe we have seen. The next thing will be like now how to breathe through nose or mouth during our pranayama thing. So now we are going to do Omkara by proper breathe out. So what you are going to do, only breathing we are going to do, breathe in completely, and you have to close your nose by giving some automatic sense. We have to breathe out through only mouth, saying oh like that. So we will practice for the better result. You all can close your eyes, and wherever you sit, even when you sit in the chair also no problem, sit erect and keep your hand over the chair handle, or if you sit down you can sit like this. Now breathe in completely, then extend the time of breathe out. Don't completely breathe out. So by saying Om, you can breathe out. So we'll start only 2 times we'll practice. So sit erect, it can be elevated up. So breathe in completely. Second time breathe in. When we practice, you might have realized that when you say "oh," when you say "oh," all your top of your stomach, top of your lung will be getting empty. So when you go for him, you are forcing your bottom lung to push the air. So that means you will feel little bit uneasiness in your stomach. So this is the mechanism we are following when we are breathing in. So when you do continuous practicing of this Omkara, even you can practice breathe in, say only oh. Then after that you can breathe in, you can say like that. So somewhat, however you do, your air should be go in a proper flow to the lungs, and it should be come in a proper way through your mouth or nose. So now we will move into Kapalbhati Pranayama. So in the Kapalbhati Pranayama, it will be very useful, and we are going to do continuous strokes of breathe out. Breathing should not be concentrated, it will be happen automatically, but we have to concentrate more on our breathe out. And it can be practiced like in the starting we can do 8 count of breathe out. 1 breathe in, and active passive breathe out will be there. So breathe out will be very active, passive breathe in will be there. So that means continuously breathe out will not happen. By seeing only breathe out to be visible, that sound should be here, and breathe in sound should not be visible. So it will be silent. Breathe in will be silent, breathe out should be more. So sit in the same position. I'll tell you procedure. First you breathe in completely. First you completely breathe in. Then see, by pumping your stomach inward, not outward. Don't push your stomach outward. By pumping the stomach inward. So we are pumping air outside. So we are pumping our stomach inside. So that means our lung will be releasing some amount of air. So immediately it will be refilled by breathing in. Then it will be pumped out. So like that we can do for 8 count in the starting time. So sit erect. If you want to see good result, you can keep the hand on your stomach and you can do pumping. So sit erect, keep your back straight, For better concentration, you can close your eyes, breathe in completely, stop. Then relax, come to normal breathe in, normal breathe out. Then deep breathe in. Then normal breathe in, normal breathe out. Breathe in completely. This way you can practice. This is Kapalabhati Pranayama. When we do pumping your stomach inward and pushing the lungs to release the air, so with forcefulness, so you will get good amount of air. So some amount of air will be there inside the lungs, and the top of the stomach air will be released outside and it will be refilled. So it will be good practice from the starting position, starting stage you can do with 8 strokes. Then we can, after some couple of 1 week or 15 days practice, you can increase it to 12 counts of stroke. Then we can move into 15 counts or 20 counts or 30 counts, and it can be practiced for even continuous 5 minutes, 10 minutes also it can be practiced with proper rest in between. So this is called Kapalabhati Pranayama. What Kapalabhati? When you do these asanas, when you do this pranayama, your total body, especially your brain region, will be getting cool. It will be getting lot of the concentration, and the same way the count also we are going to maintain it. So how many counts we have, our focus also will be there. So it will be good for the concentration, it will be good for mind relaxation, and it will be good for brain refreshment. So it will be good for your inner thoughts also. So Kapalabhati Pranayama, nothing but breathing in. Actively we are breathe out. Passively we are breathing in. For 8 strokes in the beginning level. At a later stage, it can be increased further. So this is Kapalabhati Pranayama. And if you feel any giddiness, if you feel any kind of uneasiness while doing this pranayama, you can stop and you can relax. Since you are going to do pranayama in the beginner level, you may feel some giddiness, some gasiness should be there, because we are going to regulate our breath in the first time. So that time you can reduce even to 4 strokes, reduce even to 6 strokes. So like that you can practice. Step by step you can go. Directly you cannot go to the final stage. So step by step you can practice them. Next asana will be Bhramari Pranayama. Like Bhramari means it will be like you are going to breathe in through your nose, and same thing you are going to breathe out through your mouth. So in this there are some mudras are there. We don't want to go for Sanmukhi Mudra. So Sanmukhi Mudra means some hand position will be like this, closing the eyes, closing the ears, closing the lips. This is Sanmukhi Mudra. So we don't want to do that. With the easy way we are going to do it. We are going to breathe in and we are going to close our eardrum. There will be one lock in our ear, which will be the small center of the ear. So you can close that and you can say like that. So breathe in with mouth and nose, and breathe out through only nose. So you should not open anything. Even for that reason only we are going to close our eardrum. So same sitting position, and breathe in with both mouth and ear, and fill your stomach as much as possible, including lungs. Close. Say you. Until you release the complete air from your lungs, you can do. You can feel the like how water will be coming down from the glass. You can how you will visibly see that level of water is coming down when you have the hole in the bottom. The same thing should happen. You have to feel like that. So fill the air by saying "im." You have to release the air outside, and you can feel the stomach is and the lung is getting empty. So one more time, sit erect and fill your lungs by deep breathing in Now start. Like that. So breathing also you can take more time to breathe in and hold. And in this, there should be some holding position. That ratio will be there. 1 count breathing, 2 count holding, and 2 count of breathing. There is a ratio. So that is another next level for the beginner. Breathing through both mouth and nose. Close your ear by keeping the index finger or thumb. You can close it and close your eyes. Then release the air slowly by saying humming sound like that. So when you do humming sound, you are releasing your air only through your nose. This is called Bhramari Pranayama. Next will be Nadi Shodhana Pranayama. It will be very good. It will be very easy understanding pranayama also. So when there is a right side nostril breathing, by left side breathe out, left side breathing and right side breathe out. There is a procedure. When you do alternate side of breathing, on both sides, when you do breathe in through your left nostril, your right brain will be getting activated. When you breathe through your right nostril, your left side brain will be getting activated. So with both side activation of brain, you will get very good concentration. Your thinking power will be all right, and your decision making also will be very good, and you will get positive vibe on your thoughts. This is called mind refreshing pranayama. It will be good, and it will be good for your increasing lung capacity, increasing oxygenation in your lung, and increasing the energy level passing to all parts of the body by regulating our breathing. So in this position, so you can keep your left hand in chin mudra, and you can do nasika mudra, like index and middle finger you can close it and open the next thumb and little finger and ring finger. This is nasika mudra. So in that, the thumb can be placed on your right side, and little finger and ring finger can be kept on your left. This is only nasika mudra position. So right thumb for right side nose, and this little finger and the ring finger for left side nose. The procedure will be start with the right side. Close your left nostril by these two fingers, little finger and ring finger, and open your right nostril. Breathe in through your right nostril completely. Then close the right nostril, open the left nostril, and breathe out. Again, breathe in through your left nostril, close, breathe out through your right nostril. This is one cycle. So breathe in through right, breathe out through left, breathe in through left, breathe out through right. This is only one cycle. Like that we can do 4 cycles now, and later we can practice more number of times. In this breathing in, breathing out, out only we are concentrating now. We are not looking into the holding part. The holding part will be practiced after 1 month or 2 months of practices only. So first we will see the sitting position, normal sitting position with the, keep your back straight, and left hand will be forming chin mudra and placed over your knee, and right hand nasika mudra. So position will be keep your thumb in the right nostril and little and ring finger on your left nostril. Open your right and breathe in through your right nostril. Close your eyes. Then close your right and open your left nostril and breathe out. Breathe in through left nostril. Close left nostril. Open the right one. One cycle over. Second cycle. Breathe in through right. Close right. Open left. Breathe out. Breathe in through our left. Close. Open through your right and breathe out. This way we can practice. For the beginning level startup, we can do with 4 cycle of breathing and breathe out of Nadi Shodhana Pranayama. Then in later stage we can increase the cycle 6, 8, 10 like that. You increase, and the holding position, like holding of your breath inside the right lungs also can be practiced after the couple of practices. And there are another asanas, pranayamas like Vastrika pranayama. We can call it as like when you are breathing in, you can bring your hands up. When you breathe out, you can bring your hands down like this. This is Vastrika pranayama. It will be like based on our level of energy, we can do slow also, we can do like this. And if you are energy, if you have more energy, if you are refreshing, if you want to do some like of like coming out from the stress, we can do with the fast pace. Like that also we can practice. This is a Vastrika. But anyway, whenever you do asanas, do with your own calm and steady level of capacity. Don't increase. When you do fast pace and all, your heart rate also will be elevated and you may not do it effectively. So with the normal pace, calm mind and cool mind, we can do any pranayamas. And after that, there are some kind of asanas, Chitri, Chitkari, and that we don't want to see that. These three are major things: Kapalbhati, Brahmari, and last one will be Nadi Shodhana Pranayama. So with this, we will finish the pranayama part. Next part will be meditation. So meditation is nothing but we are going to concentrate on one particular object. So as per the meditation technique, we have 2-3 options like chanting meditation or tantra meditation. Chanting meditation in the sense sit quiet, keep chin mudra of the both hands, keep the back straight. You can say any chanting like Om or Namah Shivaya or any god name or any goddess name, and you can say any object name repeatedly. If you say for a particular time like 1 minute or 2 minutes or 3 minutes, if you say continuously, your focus level will be improved, and if you focus on your breathing as well as the chanting, so by seeing that, it will be very good for your refreshment of mind. So chanting mantra, beginners can do the chanting mantras, and even some people may do with the counting of the malas. So they will keep the malas in that, and each mala passing, they will say one mantra like Om, like that. That is chanting mantra. Then tantra mantra, tatak mantra, we used to say, that is called sitting straight and focusing the flame. Okay, sir, in some yoga centers, what they used to say, they will handle and they will have the lamp in front of them. They'll ask them to focus for 10 to 15 seconds or even 30 seconds. After that, they'll ask to close the eyes, and they will make the practitioners to focus on the flame, and even with their concentration, that focus level will be very. They will make the flame to pass over all the parts of the body. That means we will be concentrating over the flame, as well as whatever they are saying. For example, if they say focus keep the flame in front of your eyebrows, now we have to feel that we are keeping the flame on the eyebrows. When they are making that flame to move to the nose, tip of the nose also, we will feel that flame is coming to our nose. This is like Tatak meditation. So what we are doing, we are focusing our mind to the particular object. So as I told you in the first phase of the class, our mind will be thinking plenty of options. It will be more diversions and thoughts. So when you are doing meditation, when you are doing this kind of focusing, this kind of concentration, all our ultimate aim of concentration and the particular mindset also will be happening. It will be regulated proper. So this is called meditation, and this meditation also immediately you cannot control your mind, immediately you can control your thought. So by practicing continuously, if you practice regularly, you will be getting lot of concentration, and when you improve your concentration, all your work will be done in a proper way. In general, with this we will be closing all asana, pranayama, and meditation session. Let me tell you some general guidelines about yoga. Yoga can be practiced. Yoga in the sense like pranayama, asana, and meditation can be practiced in the early morning it is very advisable. And if you have no time in the early morning, you can do it in the late evening also. And you have to do with the empty stomach. You have to do with the free mind, with the stressed mind. Don't do asanas. Otherwise, you will not get a good benefit. And some fact you can see before meals or after meals. Problem is that it should be done with the empty stomach. If at all, if you are doing in the evening, then you have to be practice yoga asanas after 3 hours after the food, solid food, or 1 to 1.5 hours to the liquid food like juices and that. And during the asanas, if you feel uncomfort, if you feel energy, more energies are losing, then you can have lukewarm lemon water. So you can keep it side by side of you, and when you feel you are thirsty, when you feel that you are losing out of the energy, then you can consume a little amount of lukewarm lemon water to refresh your energy and your mind. So these are all the general factor about your yoga practices, and little more if you go deeper. So practice any asana, practice any pranayama, and to your own level. Don't compare your level with well practiced persons or any of the experts. So start with your own level. Compete only with you. Don't compete with the experts. So you do your level. Do even any flexibility, any emotional feelings, mind control with your level. So don't force more, don't put waste. Only this much only you can only try that much, and little bit you can step by step you can increase your level. But don't go for immediate upliftment of immediate pushing or brushing of your mind as well as your flexibility. So with these general instructions, we will conclude the session. And thank you for your present listening. And I think something I have passed my knowledge to you. I think it will be very useful. And thank you once again to Dr. Kalpana Madam for giving this very good opportunity. And thank you for all the participants for present listening. Thank you so much. If you have any doubt, you can send mail to me. Definitely I will clarify. And if you have any help, if you want any help for practicing yogasana, even for any weight reduction or any diabetes and control or any hypertension problem, please call me or mail me. And definitely I will help you. Thank you so much. Thank you all.
Ma'am,
Thank you, sir, for your session, the informative session with yoga for health and happiness. Thank you so much. Any questions or any information from participants?
Actually, you have given us a very inspiring live session, sir. Actually, this will encourage the participants to practice the yoga on regular basis, which help them to have a peaceful, healthy, and happy life.
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Even more elaborated, we can do it, ma'am, but due to time
But you have
constraint.
covered all
Yes,
basic
ma'am.
concepts. Really, very nice.
Thank you, ma'am.
So, any doubts from participants?
Nothing, ma'am. It was so well explained and demonstrated. I don't think so. There is any room for doubt there, ma'am. Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
So, we can wind up the session now, and we will resume back at 2:30 for the next session. Thank you all. So, kindly fill the attendance form and feedback form.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.